Yes, greetings. I'd like to go over the major and minor arcana of a tarot deck, okay? So a tarot deck is comprised of 78 cards, all right? And some tarot decks you'll find that the backs are symmetrical, so you don't know which way it's reversed. So if the card is this way, you won't know. And some have backs that aren't, like this, but that, it's your preference, doesn't really matter. But anyway, the deck is made up of 78 cards, of which there's what's called the major and the minor arcana, all right? So the minor arcana are kind of your coins. They're called pentacles. I call them coins. Then you have your cups, you have your wands or batons, you have your swords. Okay, that's the minor. The major, however, is composed of these 21 cards, and they usually have a very unique name, the Hierophant, right? Card 5 of the major arcana. Card 11 of the major arcana is Justice. And so these cards deal with things pretty much out of your control. Kind of the cosmos of if you ever get this card in a drawing or a reading, these cards represent things that are just, you must accept them. You must, there might be ways to overcome them, but these are kind of set in the stars. Temperance, okay, number 14 of the major arcana. And so the idea here is that it starts with 0, the Fool, and it's the Fool's journey along this path, dealing with different individuals, dealing with different situations, coming across the Wheel of Fortune, and how the Fool handles it. And eventually, there will be some destruction of some sort along the Fool's path. All these different types of things. There will be some false readings that the Fool has, some illusions, let's say. And eventually the Fool will get to the last card of the major arcana, which is card number 21. So 0 through 21, that's 22 cards, the World. Now you'll notice this particular deck has keywords. I don't read with this deck, but this is a very good deck to show for beginners. So you have the major arcana, 22 cards. Then you have the minor arcana, which is 4 suits. So for example, Ace of Coins, 2, and all the way. And each of these cards has its own meaning, and this particular deck has the meanings printed right on there. Now, the meaning isn't always what is printed on the card. The meaning might differ for how the card is displayed in the spread, or how the card is making you feel as a reader. Then we get into what are called the court cards. So we're still in Pentacles, and the court cards consist of pages, knights, queens, and kings. And so the pentacles have their own meaning, right? The coins, the cups, same thing, goes all the way through 10. And then we have the page, the knight, the queen, and the king, and so on. The wands go all the way to the king. And your swords, ace through king. So that's the basic makeup of a tarot deck. You have your major arcana, which are things set in stone, fate, if you will. And your minor arcana cards are more or less things happening on this earth, things happening in your life, things you have more control over when these cards are revealed in a spread. Things you can manipulate easier than you can manipulate the major arcanas. Thank you very much.